Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Savita Sharma from University of Delhi. Today we are going to learn in this module about the pulse laser deposition technique, or we call in short as PLD, under the paper Thin Film Science and Technology. After completing this module, you will be able to understand that what is the pulse laser deposition technique, why it is called as a pulse laser deposition, and what are the method or the mechanism that it involves. The next you will study about the historical development of this technique, how the pulse laser deposition technique has been developed over the years. The next you will study the process of this deposition technique in detail. That is, we are going to learn about the different stages covered during this deposition technique. Then next we'll study in detail about the mechanism involved in the deposition using pulse laser. Then in the end we'll discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of PLD technique. So before getting into detail, let's have an introduction about pulse laser deposition. A pulse laser beam is focused on the surface of a strong solid target. The solid ingestion of the electromagnetic radiation by the strong surface prompts fast dissipation of the target materials. The dissipated materials comprise of exceedingly energized and ionized species. They introduced themselves as a plasma plume promptly before the target surface if the removal is completed in vacuum. The figure 1 given shows or demonstrates some common plasma that is observed during the pulse laser deposition process. PLD is straightforward to the point that only a couple of parameters, for example, laser energy density and pulse repetition rate, should be controlled during the procedure. The targets utilized as a part of PLD process are small as that required for other sputtering methods. It is very easy to deposit multi-layered films of different materials by sequential ablation of the used targets. Furthermore, by controlling the number of pulses, a fine control of film thickness down to nuclear monolayer can be accomplished. The most vital element of PLD is that the stoichiometry of the target can be achieved on the deposited films. This is the result of the extremely high heating rate of the target surface, that is of the order of 10 raised to the power 8 Kelvin per second, due to the pulse laser irradiation. It ensures the congruent dissipation of the target material independent of the evaporating point of the constituent elements or compounds of the target. And because of the high heating rate of ablated materials, laser deposition of crystalline film demands a much lower substrate temperature than other film growth techniques. For this reason, the semiconductor and the underlying integrated circuit can refrain from thermal degradation. Disregarding the said focal points of PLD, a few weaknesses have been distinguished in utilizing this deposition technique. One of the significant issues is the sprinkling or the particulates affidavit on the films. The physical instruments prompting sprinkling incorporate subsurface boiling, expulsion of the liquid layer by shock wave recoil pressure and exploitation. The size of particulates might be as large as a couple of micrometers. Such particulates will significantly influence the development of the ensuing layers, and also the electrical properties of the films. Another issue of PLD is the restricted narrow angular distribution of the ablated species, which is generated by the adiabatic expansion of laser, produced plasma plume, and the pitting on the target surface. These highlights confine the handiness of PLD in delivering extensive region uniform thin movies, and PLD has not been completely conveyed in industry. As of late, therapeutic measures have been proposed. Embeddings, a shadow mask, is powerful to close off the vast particulates. Pivoting both the target and substrate can create bigger uniform films. Now let us discuss about the historical development of pulse laser deposition technique. Albert Einstein proposed the fortified discharge process in as right on time as 1916. The primary optical ace utilizing a bar of ruby as a lasing medium might have been in case developed in 1960 by Theodore H. Mayman at Hughes Research Laboratories, a slip of by 44 years. Utilizing laser to remove material must be followed back to 1962 when Breach and Cross utilized that ruby laser to vaporize and energize particles from a strong surface. After 3 years, Smith and Turner utilized that ruby laser to store thin films. This denoted the earliest reference point of the advancement of the pulse laser deposition technique. However, the development and investigations of pulse laser deposition did not gather the expected momentum. In fact, the laser technology was immature at that time. The availability of the type of lasers was limited, the stability output was poor, and the laser repetition rate was too low for any realistic film growth processes. In this manner, the advancement of PLD in thin film creation was moderate, contrasting and different procedures, for example, molecular beam epitaxy, which can deliver much better thin film quality. The fast advance of the laser innovation, be that as it may be, upgraded the intensity of PLD in the next decade. The lasers, having a higher repetition rate than the early ruby lasers, made the thin film development conceivable. Hence, dependable electronic Q-switches lasers wound up plainly, and hence PLD can be utilized to accomplish compatible vanishing of the target material and to store stoichiometric thin films. The absorption depth is shallower for UV radiation. Subsequent development led to lasers with high efficient harmonic generator and excimer lasers delivering powerful UV radiation. From then on, non-thermal laser ablation of the target material become highly efficient. So pulse laser deposition as a film growth technique has accomplished its presumed notoriety and has pulled in across the broad enthusiasm after it has been utilized effectively to develop high temperature superconducting films in 1987. Amid the most recent decade, pulse laser deposition has been utilized to create crystalline thin films with epitaxy quality. Ceramic oxides, nitride films, metallic multilayers, and different superlattices developed by PLD have been illustrated. As of late, utilizing PLD to synthesize nanotubes, nanopowders, and quantum dots has also been reported. Generation-related issues concerning reproducibility, substantial zone scale-up, and different level have started to be tended to. It might start up another period of thin film creation in industry. Now let us discuss in detail about the process of pulse laser deposition. Pulse laser deposition or PLD is a technique that has been used for several years now to synthesize discontinuous multilayers comprising metal nanoparticles, dispersed oxide matrices. A high power density from the order of 10 to 100 milliwatt per centimeter square pulse laser beam is focused on the surface of the target material. In order to synthesize multilayers, the targets are put successively in the beam. To avoid local damage, the targets are continuously rotated. Usually, the excimer lasers are used to emit in the ultraviolet range with a pulse width in the order of 20 nanosecond and pulse frequency of around a few tens of hertz. Under this impact, evaporation of target takes place locally and the matter is ejected in the form of plasma, which is deposited on a substrate held in place opposite to the target. There are several deposition parameters such as substrate to target distance, base pressure inside the PLD chamber, along with intrinsic characteristic of the laser that can be exploited for controlling the growth of thin film. PLD is a very flexible technique and it allows control over the composition of the deposited films. Hence, the stoichiometry of the target is conserved during deposition. In addition, apart from this great flexibility, PLD allows very tight control over the composition of the deposited films. This is due to the fact that the stoichiometry of the target is conserved during transfer of matter onto the substrate. However, the homogeneous surface layer obtained by this process is not too wide. Here, the figure given shows the schematic of the PLD chamber and the pulse laser deposition technique, showing the substrate holder having a substrate on it. Then you have a target on which the laser is focused using the focused pulse laser beam. Then the plume is generated from the target onto the substrate and you can see a DC motor for target rotation and restoring. And there are other inlets like oxygen gas inlet, vacuum system inlet for maintaining the required conditions inside the chamber. Unlike the easy system setup, the working principle of pulse laser deposition is a complex process. All the physical processes of laser material interaction are involved during the impact of the high power pulsed radiation on a solid target. Due to this, a plasma plume is formed of high energetic species through which subsequently the ablated material is transported onto the heated substrate surface and thus the thin film is deposited. PLD can generally be divided into the following four stages. First stage is interaction of laser radiation with the target. Second stage is dynamic of the ablated materials. The third one is the deposition of the ablation materials onto the substrate. And the last and the fourth stage is nucleation and growth of a thin film on the surface of the substrate. Now let us discuss the stages in detail. In the first stage, the laser beam is focused on the surface of the target. When sufficient high energy density and short pulse duration are maintained, rapid heating of the elements in the surface of target are rapidly heated up to their evaporation temperature. Materials are dissociated from the target and their ablation happens out with same stoichiometry as in the target. The instantaneous ablation rate is highly dependent on the fluence of the laser irradiating on the target. The ablation mechanisms involve many complex physical phenomena such as collisional, thermal, and electronic excitation, exfoliation, and hydrodynamics. During the second stage, the ejected materials tend to move towards the substrate according to the laws of gas dynamics and shows the forward peaking phenomena. The spot size of the laser and the plasma temperature have significant effects on the uniformity of the deposited film. The target to substrate distance is another parameter that governs the angular spread of the ablated materials. The nature of thin film is determined by the third stage. The shot out high vitality species impinge on the substrate surface and may prompt different kind of harm to the substrate. The mechanism of the interaction is illustrated in the following figure. These energetic species sputter a portion of the surface molecules and an impact locale is built up between the incident flow and the sputtered particles. Film develops promptly after this thermalized region is framed. The region serves as a source for condensation of particles. At the point where the built-up rate is higher than the rate of particles provided by the sputtering, warm harmonic condition can be achieved rapidly and movie develops on the substrate surface to the detriment of the immediate stream of the removal of particles. Nucleation and growth of crystalline films depends on many factors such as the density, energy, degree of ionization, and the type of condensing material, as well as the temperature and physical chemical properties of the substrate. The two main thermodynamic parameters for the growth mechanism are the substrate temperature T and supersaturation delta M. They can be related by the equation delta M equals to K into T into ln R divided by RE. Here K is the Boltzmann constant, R is the actual deposition rate, and RE is the equilibrium value at temperature T. The nucleation procedure relies upon the interfacial energies between the three stages: substrate, the gathering material, and the vapor. The minimum energy shape of a nucleus is like a cap. The basic size of the nucleus relies upon the main impetus, that is the statement rate, and the substrate temperature. For the larger nuclei, characteristics for little supersaturation, they make disconnect patches or islands of the film on the substrates, which in this way develop and combine together. As the supersaturation builds, the basic core recoils until the point when its height achieves a nuclear distance across and its shape is that of a two-dimensional layer. For huge supersaturation, the layer by layer nucleation will occur for not completely wetted outside substrates. The crystalline film development relies upon the surface versatility of the vapor particles. Ordinarily, the add atom will diffuse through a few nuclear separations, previously adhering to a steady position inside the recently shaped film. The surface temperature of the substrate decides the add atom's surface diffusion capacity. High temperature favors fast and imperfection free gem development, while low temperature or huge supersaturation precious stone development might be overpowered by fiery molecule impingement, bringing about disarranged or even amorphous structures. In the PLD process, due to the short laser pulsed duration of the order of 10 nanoseconds and the small temporal spread less than 10 microsecond of the ablated materials, the deposition rate can be enormous, of the order of 10 micrometer per second. Consequently, a layer by layer nucleation is favored and ultra thin and smooth film can be produced. In addition, the rapid deposition of the energetic ablation species helps to raise the substrate surface temperature. In this respect, PLD tends to demand a lower substrate temperature for crystalline film growth. Advantages of pulse laser deposition. Pulse laser deposition technique offers the following advantages over the other deposition methods. Number one, there is a stoichiometric transfer of the target material to the substrate. Secondly, highly energetic species during deposition demands lower substrate temperature. So, a uniform film can be deposited at a relatively lower substrate temperature. Thirdly, utilization of multi-targets ease out the multi-layers deposition without breaking vacuum. Meaning, in this technique, we can grow the different multi-layers within the same deposition conditions without breaking the vacuum by just rotating the targets from one to another, and uniform multilayers can be deposited. Lastly and fourthly, the target fabrication is easy, meaning the target which is required to be ablated to get the required film is easy to prepare for this deposition technique. Disadvantages of pulse laser deposition. The disadvantages of PLD technique are as follows. First of all, the uniform deposition is there over a small area with high risk of substrate surface damage. Meaning, since the plume size obtained in this technique is small, as the target which is ablated is small, so only a little uniform deposition area is obtained, and that too with the risk of substrate surface damage. That because of the fluence of the laser, it might be possible that the target can be cracked, or it might be possible that because of the plume, the substrate can get damaged. So, a uniform and a high quality thin film is obtained over a very small area. Secondly, this technique is unsuitable for mass production. That is, as we saw in the first point, that we get the uniform film over a small area. So this technique is obviously not suitable for production of thin films, uniform thin films over a large scale. So this technique is basically relevant for the research purposes in which we require the thin film and we need to study its various properties and the possible applications. But for the device production on a mass level, we require different technique where we can get the thin film of the similar thickness, similar uniformity and similar quality over a large area. Then lastly and thirdly, ablation of material highly depends on the incident laser energy. So in this case, how the material is going to be ablated depends on how much energy we are giving through laser. If a high energy laser will be given, then the ablation rate will be different and the deposition rate will be different, and we'll get the different quality and thickness of the thin film. And in the case of low energy, we'll get the different characteristics of the film because the nature of the ablation of the material will be different. For example, the metal oxide thin films require high laser energy, while the multi-component targets required different laser energy. So depending on the material and the material from which the target has been made, the laser energy is highly important. And depending on the laser energy, we get the quality and the characteristics of the thin film required for a particular application. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. First of all, we learned what is a pulse laser deposition technique. Then secondly, we learn about the historical development of pulse laser deposition, in which we saw that how the lasers evolved, then what were the limitations in the early years with related to laser. Then we saw how the ruby laser, simple ruby laser is being extended, and finally we achieved the excimer laser, and how later on we are able to deposit the good quality thin films using pulse laser deposition technique. Then we learned in detail about the process of pulse laser deposition. We saw the 4 different stages involved in the process of thin film deposition using this technique. Next, we learned in detail about the mechanism involved in the preparation or the deposition or the fabrication of thin film using PLD. In the end, we studied about the advantages and disadvantages of PLD technique. Thank you.